Hello everyone, welcome to another fun video. I have an adorable Valentine's Day box to share with you today and I have a yummy sweet treat in here for you. So let me show you how this one opens. This one is super cute. Look at how cute the side is. I just love the way this opens. So you pull off this little heart clip here and inside are these little Valentine ding dongs, and let me show you the box that they come in. I found these at my local grocery store. Got these out sooner. They're under a bunch of stuff, but I got these in my local grocery store. This is what the box looks like. They're the exchange packs, so instead of coming two to a bag, you get the one, and they're a little heart shaped and they're adorable. So I'm gonna pull one out. This is what we're going to use for our treat today. So you can look for those in your local grocery store, and they'll probably fit other things too. I'm gonna slide my little clip back on here, and we're gonna get started with this box. Isn't it cute? Now this is a simple enough box so you can make a bunch of them if you need to, but it's fancy enough that everybody's gonna be really impressed. So let's go ahead and get started. We're actually gonna start with the box itself, and I'm gonna use Pretty in Pink for this. So I have a piece of Pretty in Pink cardstock, and that measures 10 by 7.5. Now don't worry about writing anything down. All of the measurements are in the video description. All right, on the 7.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 2 inches from each side. Oops, 7.5 inch side. Whoa, nearly messed that one up, huh? 2 inches from this side. I'm gonna rotate it all the way around, and we're gonna do 2 inches from this side. All right, now on the 10 inch side, we're gonna score it at 1, 2, and at 4 inches on each side. So it's 1, 2, and 4, and I'm going to rotate it all the way around, and we're going to do the same thing again. 1, 2, and 4. All right, that is all of our scoring. So let me move that out of the way. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. That means you're never going to miss a video. And I have some really fun videos coming. I have some good classes to go. And we are in the middle of celebration, which means we are in the middle of my Celebration Sunday series. And you don't want to miss those. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, now I'm just going around and burnishing on all of those score lines with my bone folder. And we're going to do some trimming. So I have to do some thinking for this one. This was a different kind of box that I've normally made, and so I just want to make sure that I get this correct. Okay, now the box is completely symmetrical. It's symmetrical top to bottom and side to side, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. So I'm going to turn it so one of the short sides is facing me, and you have 6 rectangles here. We're going to cut off the 2 outside rectangles from each side, and I'm going to turn it over because I can see the score lines a little better on this side. So you're just going to cut up the score line to the second score line, and then we're just going to cut this off. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this corner, and then we're going to rotate it and do the same thing on the other corner as well. Okay. Now this box will hold lots of treats. It's 2 inches tall by 3.5, so it's 3.5 by 2 by 2, so it's going to hold lots of treats. So if you can't find the little ding dongs or you want to do a different treat, this one will hold lots of fun goodies. It'd be great for teachers or coworkers or neighbors. Lots of fun treats for this one. All right, we have our last corner trimmed off. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to cut up each of these score lines to the horizontal score line. And then I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer. We're just going to get some nice clean cuts on this. You don't have to use your paper trimmer. You can absolutely use your scissors, but we're going to cut down a little bit of the bulk just to make the box go together a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is fold in those middle sections. And I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer real quick. And we're just going to cut these tabs in half. And by doing it with the paper trimmer, it's nice and quick. So what I'm going to do with the tabs folded in the center, I'm going to line this edge up with my 1 inch score line here. And then I'm just going to quickly just cut those in half. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So the only things that we're cutting are those 2 side tabs, which let me do it up here so you can see it a little bit better. So just trim off those. All right, and that's it with our paper trimmer. We're gonna do one more tiny bit of trimming, and then we'll be done. We're going to keep that centerpiece folded out of the way, and I'm just going to notch in on these, and that's going to help us put our box together nice and easily. So just trim off those, take off the corners. When you have tabs on a box, if you trim the corners, it will just help your box go together that much easier. Because sometimes we're not perfect when we cut or when we score, and sometimes there's just a little bit, there's like a hair too much cardstock, and it just makes your cardstock uneven, and this will help a lot. So that's what we have. Pretty easy, right? Not too complicated. I'm going to take a corner rounder, and I am going to round these 4 corners over here. This is going to be our lid, and by rounding these, it just gives it a little bit more of a finished look. Now, we don't currently sell a corner rounder, so whatever corner rounder you have will be perfect. All right, now we're going to put some DSP on this before we assemble it. It's just going to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to grab some Stampin' Seal, and let me grab out all of my DSP pieces. Now we have quite a bit of DSP pieces. So I have 2 pieces of DSP that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and the DSP that I'm using is Friends of the Ocean DSP, and it has this like seashell or wave pattern, and I want to make sure that I'm strategic about making sure that those waves are facing in the right direction. So those are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. You need 2 of those. You need 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 1 3/4, and again, those are going to go on the big pieces here, and I'm just making sure that they are all going in the right direction before we adhere it down. Just like that. And then you need 8 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. And all of these are going to go onto these here. So we're going to have 4 on the front, and then we're actually going to put 4 on the inside. But to match the curved edges here, I'm going to need to corner round 4 of them. So I'm just going to stick this in my corner rounder, and we're just going to go through and corner round 4 of them just so that they match that same look. So on the inside and the outside, and I'll open the box so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're going to open up the box, and we have DSP on the inside there just to complete the look and make it pretty. So let me round these corners as well, as long as we're doing this, and then we'll do the inside pieces in just a minute. So you only need to do, you have 8 of these pieces total, and you only need to corner round 4 of them. And if you have a directional DSP, just make sure you're corner rounding the right corners. Okay, let's start sticking these down. So just add some adhesive, and we're going to stick it down. You're going to have a little bit of a border around all of them. Just going to lay all these down. This is a good way to use up scraps too, because these, especially these pieces, they are not taking up a lot of real estate. So you probably have some scraps left over. So these go very quickly. And then these outside tabs. And it's much easier to add the DSP while the box is laying flat. So you can really make sure and press and make sure that everything is nice and adhered, opposed to when it is assembled. And sometimes you can't get your hands inside to really make sure. Okay. Now this is going to be the bottom of the box, that's why we skipped that one. If you want to put a piece of DSP on that one, you absolutely could, but because it's the bottom, I didn't think it was necessary. Okay, last one for the front. All right, and so we're going to flip it over to the inside, and we are going to put these pieces here on the inside. So we'll just go ahead and start adhering those as well. And once we get these, then the rest of the box goes really quickly to put together. Okay. Don't forget, we are in the middle of celebration. So if you are shopping in my online store, maybe you need to grab some of these products, or you just want to grab some new products. Don't forget, we are in the middle of celebration. With every $60 you spend, you get to choose an exclusive item for free from our celebration brochure. And we have lots of great stuff to choose from. Celebration ends February 28th though, so you only have about a month left, so don't wait. Make sure you get those in now. Okay, so that's all of our DSP. And now we're going to assemble. So I'm going to switch to a stronger adhesive. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to flip it over so all of that DSP is facing up. And I'm going to put my adhesive on these 4 tabs. And that is the only place that we're going to put adhesive. Okay, it's just a little bit of adhesive on all the tabs. Now I'm going to line up this score line with this cut edge. And we're just going to assemble that, or yeah, fold that over. Now by cutting off those, cutting these in half, it's going to make it so they don't overlap too much and make it super bulky. So that was one of the reasons that we trimmed that down, because we don't want to make it super bulky. Okay, there we go. And the same on this side. I'm going to line up that score line with the cut edge and last tab. There we go. Now this is going to fold down just like this. Super cute. All right, now let's talk about how we're going to keep that closed. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. This was actually, I learned this from one of my downlines. Thank you, Dana. I learned this from her. And so let me pull out some pieces that we have here. So from the Hearts of Elegance dies, I have a Poppy Parade heart. From the Greetings of the Seasons die, I have a tag that we're going to stamp our greeting on. And then also from that Hearts of Elegance die, I have some more hearts. I have a couple in Pretty in Pink, the larger ones, and then the smaller ones are in Melon Mambo. We're going to take the larger ones, and I just have a paper clip here, and I happen to find a red one so that if you do happen to see it, it's going to coordinate pretty well. And you're going to grab some dimensionals. I'm going to grab a couple dimensionals, and I am going to stick the paper clip. Make sure you have it so that the side that will clip into the paper is pointing down toward the bottom of the heart. And I'm going to use dimensionals and just hold that in place just like this. Now you can also use a glue gun to glue this little paper clip in there. The dimensionals work just fine for me, so that's what I'm going to use. You're going to peel those off, and we're just going to sandwich that little clothespin in there. And I'm going to stick this one on top. Now, this is a great little tip for planners or bookmarks. You can do this so you have that hidden paper clip in there. And so this will now just slide right over the box just like that and keep it closed. Isn't that cute? It's gonna, that paper clip's gonna work and just keep it closed. So cute. Okay, we're gonna decorate this up with the hearts on the front here. So let me stick these on just to fancy it up just a little bit more. And our last heart. So now our little paper clip is completed, and it looks the same on each side. You can add ribbon or embellishments, whatever you want to it. Let's add our little treat inside our box. I'm going to fold this down, and I will use that paper clip. Getting it going the first time is sometimes the hardest, but once you get that on there, isn't that cute? So let me center it a little bit better. Isn't that cute? So fun, right? All right, let's finish decorating the front. Now, this is pretty simple to do. We're just going to stamp a greeting. So I am using the greeting from the Hugs for Love stamp set. This is in our mini catalog. It does have a coordinating punch, which will cut out this lovely label, these lovely labels. But I'm just using that Happy Valentine's Day greeting, and I'm going to stamp it in Melon Mambo. I'm just going to stamp it on the tag. Make sure the hole is to the right. We're just going to do Happy Valentine's Day. Now, of course, you can add any greeting you want to this. I'm using a Valentine's Day greeting, of course, but you can do any greeting you want. All right, I'm going to stick my ribbon. I'm using Pretty in Pink ribbon here, and I'm going to pull it through, and I'm going to pull maybe about 6-7 inches in the front. And then we're not going to tie a knot. That's going to be very bulky on our box. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loop this forward, just like this. I'm taking what is attached to the roll. I'm going to loop that in the front. And then I'm going to wrap this around the front and then just tuck it right behind. We're just going to give this a little tug. We can kind of pull these, maneuver that bow a little bit, but that's going to give you a pretty perfect bow. And it's not going to be real bulky because we didn't do a knot. It's just, it goes straight into the bow, which is perfect. All right, let me grab some scissors. We're going to trim up these ends just a little bit. Perfect. Move my ribbon out of the way. And let's keep assembling. I'm going to use dimensionals, of course, for everything. I'm going to do my heart, and I'm going to stick that right here. So I'm going to actually put my dimensionals right onto my box. And that's going to make sure that we don't have any adhesive hanging over, because this heart is going to hang over quite a bit. So we don't want any adhesive hanging over. And we're going to do the same for our for our little tag, I'm going to put one dimensional on the back where it's going to overlap the heart. And then on the part next to the ribbon, I'm actually going to stack up 2 dimensionals because we want the greeting to sit nice and flat. And the heart is already 1 dimensional high. And so we need to add a 2nd dimensional just to make sure everything sits nice and flat. And that will go on just like that. So cute, right? But we need to give it some sparkle. So let's bring in, these are the purple adhesive back sequins. This is an option you can choose for free during celebration. These are in the celebration brochure. So if you spend $60, you can get these embellishments completely free. And I'm going to use 5 of them. I'm going to use 5 on the left side of the heart, or 2 on the left side of the heart, a couple on the heart directly, and then I'm going to put 1 on the tag here. So 5 total, just to give it a lot of extra shine. Isn't that adorable? Such a fun little box for anybody this Valentine's Day. The little paperclip heart will come off, and they can actually reuse this as a bookmark, or again, like in their planner, calendar, however they want to use it. So such a cute little treat. Let me know what you think about this box. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.